Guys, today's video is sponsored by the incredible OneFootball app. This app is absolutely killing the game in the world of football apps right now, so if you haven't got it yet, head to the first link in the description and give it a cheeky download completely free of charge. You will not regret it. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Why am I crossing my arms? First and foremost, welcome back to Charlton Weekly. Charlton Weekly. That is right, we've named the show. This segment will be happening on a weekly basis right here on this channel, so make sure you hit the subscribe button to stay posted with everything scores, results, news, transfer, gossip and rumours right here on this channel. Hit the subscribe button, you won't regret it. Leave a like on the video, and without hesitating any longer, let's get on to this pretty dreadful news that's come out today. Well, it's not even news, is it? It's just the pure and simple fact that Patrick Bauer has taken it upon himself. He's taken it to Twitter to basically put it out there that he's not going to accept an extension on his current contract, but while he's playing with the Charlton shirt on his chest, he will be playing to basically the full, full amount of effort and ability that he possibly can. However, this spells some potentially bad news for us, and we don't really know exactly why he's done this, but we can speculate and discuss why us as Charlton fans think he may have done this. So option one, I'm calling it out there. He's putting himself in the shop window for any potential buyer. We know Bolton and I believe also Blackburn were interested in signing Patrick Bauer. So he's basically making a last-ditch attempt with sort of 3-4 days left of the transfer window to go to put himself in the shop window and say, hey, look, everybody. Hey, look, other clubs. I'm not going to accept a contract from Charlton. And then he's keeping us sweet at the same time by going, but if I do stay, I'll keep playing well for you, don't worry. So that's one thing. That's probably, from Patrick Bauer's perspective, the smartest thing, to jump a sinking ship, but to also be respectful in case things don't go his way. Option two, this could potentially be a sort of plea to the higher forces at Charlton to say, please give me a new improved contract. I think we can all agree that Patrick Bauer has been one of the most consistent players for us in the last few seasons. Even back in the Championship days, Patrick Bauer was always a solid performer, and our defence for the last few seasons hasn't necessarily been a major problem. And Patrick Bauer has been a mainstay in our defence for about 3 or 4 seasons now. So we can agree, I think, mostly that he has been a consistent and a good performer for us. So Patrick Bauer earlier today tweeted this on Twitter, obviously. And yes, everybody, put your hands together, because humorous comment of the week comes from Adam, who had this to say about Patrick Bauer potentially leaving. Yes, that's right, everybody. First humorous comment of the week. We love it. That actually really was a very, very witty reply. I love it. Okay, so further on this is pretty much contradictory to everything we understood about Patrick Bauer's situation. So Richard Corley, not too long ago, came out with an article in the South London press saying that Patrick Bauer was going nowhere. That's what Lee Bowyer said, and that's what Lee Bowyer has maintained over the last few weeks. Even after we lost 2-1 to Sunderland in our first game of the season, Lee Bowyer has basically focused on the fact that we may be losing one player, but we are also definitely going to be bringing more in before Saturday. However, there are only a few days of the transfer window to go, and okay, let me just list this. Okay, Jay De Silva, Sully Kaikai, Steffi Mavididi, Michael Zyro, and Ben Amos. These are the players that we have lost in our squad from last season when we finished 6th. These are players that's loans have expired and we haven't replaced them really. All of those positions we haven't really replaced. So they are players we've lost. Harry Lennon, Esri Konsa, Ahmed Kashi, Josh McGuinness, Regan Charles Cook, and Brandon Hanlon. All players that were either very, very mainstay first team players or youth players that were in and around the first team. We've lost them as well. I make that about 12 or 13 or something like that main first team players that we have lost since last season. Now also, it wouldn't be fair to include players we've lost on loan without considering players that have returned from loan. So Igor Vetekeli also comes into this equation when I'm talking about players that we've signed in. The other 2 players, Darren Pratley and of course Big Bad Lyle Taylor, who scored on his debut. So that's 3 players we've brought in. Do you want to consider Billy Clark, who was injured for the whole of last season? Maybe, but probably not, because, you know, he was still on our books last season. So pretty much 3 incomings and about 12 outgoings, and that doesn't account for youth either. Quick mention to Wilberforce Okran, who has signed for our youth development. Best name, hands down, in football ever, next to Fred Friday. Fred Friday is the best name in football. Wilberforce Okran, a very close second. So anyway, we don't have long, do we? We don't have long of the transfer window left. And basically we've lost a lot of players. We could be losing more. Nicky Ajose, if you look at our squad numbers, Nicky Ajose has not been given a very promising squad number for us, really, which means he could definitely be on his way out. People are saying Joe Aribo could be on his way out because Roland has a price in his head, and if a team matches that, it doesn't matter about the state of our club, he's just going to accept it. That would mean that literally the only 2 central midfielders that we have fit that are anywhere near our first team are Darren Pratley, who's just signed for us and is 33 years old, and Taylor Maloney, who is an uncapped or a player that is in our youth that hasn't actually played for our first team properly yet. So to round this off, by my estimation, we have lost a lot more players than we are able to bring in. We know the reason for this is because the takeover has fallen through. We know that this Australian consortium potentially doesn't have the funds and is not in the position to be able to take us over properly yet. At this point, like, people are starting to consider, myself included, is Roland keeping the club for a little while actually a better option than this new, apparently not as rich as we thought, consortium? Is this consortium a worse option for our club at the moment? I don't know. I don't know where my head's at. Valley Floyd Freddy on Twitter did say today, and I like the way he summed this up, was that Charlton has been declining for a while. However, we are free-falling now. Like, there is just things were supposed to get better so long ago, and they're just getting worse and worse. Listen, we've got a good first 11. We've got some decent players coming back from injury, but we are a club in crisis. Let me know your thoughts down below. Who are we going to lose? Nicky Jose, Joe Aribo, are they going? Patrick Bauer, are these 3 players going? These 3 players are hugely important players for us in an already very, very bare-bones squad. If we lose these 3, what even happens? How do we limp through in 24th position in League 1 to January playing youth players? Or what do we do? I don't know. Leave your comments and thoughts down below. And also, guys, apparently we have got at least 1 incoming. So who will that be? What position do we need strengthening the most? That's it for this week's Charlton Weekly. Make sure you leave a like on the video. I've already called for a like once. Okay, we're calling for a like twice in this video. The first episode, I do want to make sure it's well received by you lot, and you lot appreciate it. So let me know that by leaving a like, and I'll feel the love through the like button. Anyway, guys, make sure you stay tuned, because very soon, I think in probably 2 days time on Wednesday, I will be having I was about to say Barclays. It's not Barclays. An English Premier League prediction for how I think the table's going to finish this season. So stay posted for that. It's going to be very interesting. I wonder what you guys think. I also will start a fantasy team on Wednesday, a fantasy league, sorry, on Wednesday, so you lot can get involved. Maybe we'll do some sort of small-scale prizes. But anyway, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for tuning in today. It's been a very, very dodgy pre-season, but surely only things can get better now. Surely. Oh, all right, guys. I'll see you later, and sweet.